I'm going to go on record and say that I was never a big fan of the Mercedes A45 in the W176 guys. For me, it always felt like a bit of an exercise in, well, bragging rights, seeing how much you could squeeze into a small little hatchback. But I've been spending some time now with the Mercedes-AMG A45S, the W177 version. And I may need to eat my words because this is a different kettle of fish. The first bit of engineering that I'm going to delve into is all the chassis bracing that you'll find on the A45S. The engineers at AMG knew that if they were going to put this much power to the wheels, they were going to have to stiffen up the chassis. So there's bracing all over the place. There's a top shock brace connecting the left and the right. There's a plate underneath the engine, and besides acting as a wind deflector and an underbody tray, it helps stiffen up the chassis legs. You're going to find fender bracing to stop the towers from flexing and connect them a little more rigidly to the A-pillars. There's even cross bracing all the way down the bottom of the chassis. This is one stiff ride, trust me. But it's not this fandangled chassis that is so impressive, it's the engine. And the engine is, well, there's no other way of putting it, the most powerful 2-litre engine in production in the world. So the previous A45 made 275 kilowatts. The new A45 makes 280 kilowatts. You with me so far? Cool, because we're not in the A45, we're in the A45S. And this one gives us 310 kilowatts, 500 Newton meters of torque. And it's an engineering marvel, it really is. So it's a closed deck construction, and this is now the bit for the geeks. Closed deck construction with nanoglide cylinder coatings. You know, it's got forged pistons, a forged crankshaft, and they've actually turned the whole engine 180 degrees. This has allowed them to give it a slightly lower profile on the bonnet and improve the aerodynamics. We're going to get to aerodynamics in just a short moment. It's also allowed the intake to be shorter and larger, and this improves airflow. And as a result, it's going to do 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds. Up here at altitude, it's been tested to do 4.1. And this is mated to a DCT 8G gearbox. It's an 8-speed dual clutch gearbox that is programmed to perfection. You're not going to catch it out. You really aren't. It is always going to be just in the right gear. You don't even need these pedals on the back here. That's unnecessary control. You really don't need to worry about it. And then, of course, this sends all the power to the fantastic 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system. And it includes electromechanical diffs that can even send power to the rear wheels. So when you change it over here, and of course we've got these awesome sort of F1 style knobs and buttons, Sport Plus, but because this is the S, it has race mode, and that is awesome. So opens up the active exhaust, and then you can really have some fun in this car. It really is powerful, but it's not so much the sheer outright power that's addictive. Because of that turbocharger technology, this thing has naturally aspirated like throttle control. It doesn't matter where you are in the rev range, you tickle this throttle and the thing lurches forward. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant. This is a massively exhilarating drive. I haven't driven something this excited since the Club Sport. Shh, don't tell them I said that. Its styling is a bit Marmite. You either like it or you don't. It comes across a little ostentatious, particularly if you have it in this bright yellow. The wing at the back and the graphics down the side, well, it works on some cars and it doesn't work on others. On this one, well, it literally works. It is actually active aero. The graphics do nothing. The active aero at the back, as well as the diffuser, this front splitter and these air dams are actually all functional. This front air dam is actually going to feed air into the intercooler, while the rest of it is going to help improve downforce. This is actual functional aero, and that's amazing. You're also going to get this vertical slat AMG grille and of course power bulges on the bonnet to separate it from its baby brother, the A35. You're going to get 19-inch wheels with massive brakes behind them. Standard fitment is 18-inch wheels. I would maybe just choose a different color. So the price tag, yeah, is a little difficult to justify. 1.1 million rand before options, but thankfully, because this is an S model, it comes with a lot of those as standard. So stuff like these little F1 style buttons, that's standard. You know, all this yellow stitching and that, rather standard. Okay, these seats, these are an optional extra, but I tell you what, it's worth speccing those. The big brakes, yes, those are standard as well. You can go to town on the options and still get all the leery, fancy little doodads, and it could push the price up to as close as 1.5 million rand, and that's a hefty, hefty price tag. But you know what, I can almost justify it. I really can. Because this is an experience. This rewrites the rules as to what you think a 2-litre engine can do. I mean, for Pete's sake, this thing's producing 2.1 bar boost. That's unheard of. The last time I saw something like that, I was at a drag strip with modified cars. And this is a production model. Then add to it the fact that they're going to give you an extensive warranty. How do they get that right? I suppose it's because it's down to that one man, one engine philosophy where a single engineer is responsible for everything from start to finish when it comes to building this motor. And he's not going to put his stamp on that plaque unless he trusts it. I'm going to miss this car when it goes. I really am.